Noel, what are your thoughts on facing Texas? What have you guys seen on film? What do they bring?
Texas is a really good team. They got one really good guard. He's like one of the all-time scorers. Really can shoot the lights out, and they got a really good four-man. Overall, they play as a team, and it's going to be a tough matchup. But I think we got it. We kind of just got to shut down him and the four-man, and we should be in a good position.
Since more of an offensive-minded team similar to you guys, how does that differ from what you guys just faced in Houston?
I mean, everybody knows Houston's the number one defensive team in the country. So playing them, it was really hard. Tough loss, but I think we played really well against them, and that kind of prepared us for Texas, just because they don't play as much defense. They're still a really good defensive team. I'm not saying they're bad, but they're more, like you were saying, an offensive team. A lot of shooters on the court, unlike Houston. I mean, they shot the lights out, but they're really trying to get it up from the three-point line. So we kind of just got to adjust with that, but we do a great job with that, so I'm not too worried about it.
What was working for you so well? We didn't get a chance to talk to you after the game the other night, so just what was working for you so well against Houston? And yeah, I mean, was the hoop just this big, or did you see something you liked in their defense and mismatches, or just what kind of got into you, I guess?
I mean, as a shooter, you always look at the hoop big. Feel me? You can ask Travis. Like, ask him. He sees.
Never as big as Travis.
That's what I'm saying. He definitely sees it a lot bigger than I do on some days. But I think the ball was just finding me, and I shot it with confidence, as you should when you're a shooter. Ball was going in. I think we played a really good game. It was rough down the stretch, but I think it wasn't the shots that didn't fall. Like, we didn't shoot good as a team, but we really should have still had the game. We should have just locked into the defensive end, got a couple more rebounds, and it wouldn't even played out to the end of the game like that. So.
6 games into the season, what are your kind of overall takeaways from the Big 12 so far, and just being in the conference and style of play with these teams and competing?
I mean, I said it before, it's a dogfight every game. It comes down to who wins the offensive glass, defensive glass, and who plays the best defense. So it's really tough. People are out there just going at your neck every day, just not caring about the other team. They're not trying to make friends. We're not trying to make friends either. We're trying to win games. So it's really fun, though, the competitive spirit going to away games with the crowds and everything. So it's been super fun atmosphere.
How hard was it to kind of emotionally turn the page after such an emotional game and start getting ready for another just crazy hard team?
I mean, that's kind of basketball. So you got to turn the page. You can't dwell on the past. And if we lose or win, it doesn't matter. Even if we beat Texas Tech, we wouldn't have dwelt on it. We would have moved on to the next. You just got to move on, especially in this league. How competitive every team is. You just got to move on to the next. We went from playing, what were they, 2021? They were the 21 team, Texas Tech, 24th. Yeah, and then we play the fourth team. So it's like you just got to move on to the next game. Have a short memory, and I have a lot of confidence in our team and how we play offensively, defensively. So I'm not too worried.
This is one of the rare weeks you guys have back-to-back home games. How big is that for you guys to be at home this long?
I mean, it's really good. I mean, I love personally playing in the Marriott Center with the energy and all the fans. So I feel like that helps us as a team. You got 20,000 people on your side instead of going to an away game with 20,000 people of their fans against you, and it's just 15 of you guys. So really, the energy in the Marriott Center is super good. It gives us a lot of energy, and we want to play well for our fans. So I think it's really good for us to have another game back here.
Will any tip affect anything for you personally?
Say that again?
Like start tipping the game off at noon rather than playing at night. Does that change anything for you?
Nah, I mean, we practice at like noon 1, so it's just another day in the office.
All these injuries and even you have missed a game. How taxing physically has that been on you? I'm imagining you're playing probably more minutes than maybe you were used to.
Yeah, I mean, during the season, no matter if you're in the Big 12, the WCC, it's just taxing on your body going through the season. That's why we have the best treatment guys. Rob is a great guy. We're just in there every day trying to get work on our body so we can play to the highest level.
Hey Noah, the Houston coach was talking about you in the postgame about how some of the hard shots that you made, hard threes that you made. What's the balance with you guys, and why don't you talk to the coaches about what's a good 3-point shot and what's maybe something you need to move the ball around and get back to?
I mean, everybody on the court shooters. So personally, we just really try to find the open man. Whoever is open, I don't think there's a really bad shot. I mean, Jack shot a couple long ones, but Jax makes those shots. So I'm not really too worried about that either. But how we play, we're a shooting team. 1 through 5 is going to shoot the ball. So I don't think there's too many bad shots. We could have taken a little better shots at the end of the game. But when you have 5 shooters on the team, we're just going to pass the ball around, find the open guy, drive, cut, and whoever's open, we're going to shoot it with confidence. So.
Forgive me if this has been asked, but upon rewatching the last couple of minutes of that game, what were some of your takeaways?
Like I said before, it didn't come down to the last shots. It came down to 2 minutes before we tied up the game when we didn't get some offensive rebounds. They got it, tipped it out to the guys. They made some open threes because of that. So if we kept them off the glass, got those rebounds, we wouldn't have been in that hard situation anyways. A lot of fans are talking about the refs. You can't really blame it on the refs. You know, that's basketball. The refs have a really hard job. I've tried to ref games, 8th graders, and I call some crazy calls. The parents be getting mad at me. So I can't even imagine reffing one of those games. So they're doing a great job.
Why is the 1-through-1 zone for you guys so effective, whether it's the Utah game, the UCF, the Iowa State, getting back in the game against Houston? Why is the 1-through-1 zone for BYU so effective against other teams?
I think they're just not really used to it. Like, we kind of just throw it on them randomly, kind of how we blitz randomly and do those things like that. So when teams aren't expecting it, they have sets for man plays. So they're trying to run the man play, and then all of a sudden we're in a zone. And then sometimes we'll switch back that same possession to go back into man just to mess them up like that. So I think that's why it's really effective. And we have the guys out there to play the 1-through-1 zone. We play with a lot of energy, and we rebound out of it. That's the hardest part about the 1-through-1 zone, though, is rebounding out of a zone. So we really got to lock into that while we're in that zone. But overall, I think just throwing it on them randomly is what is so effective.
One more question.
Have you decided yet, is this your last year, or are you going to try for that where you were at Niagara, and I guess you didn't only played 7 games? What's your status? What's your future?
Yeah, so that's in the process right now. But right now I'm not even focused on that. I'm just focused on the Texas game and finishing out the season. So I'm not even worried about that. Rob's working on that. Haven't really talked to him much about it because I'm just focused on the season right now.
But that option is available, it might be available then.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Hey, appreciate y'all.
Thank you, Noah.
Thanks, Noah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no problem.
Thanks, Noah. There's a new one.
I don't think it's not useful for what we do.
Noah,
It's like active.
It's like, did you not see the shots your guys
No
were
one
making?
can tell me
It's like
I mean,
AI.
Fire was making some
No, it's not. It's not like
threes where guys were right on.
it's not like in a windstorm.
That's
It
what
would just
college
make it
players
go
do.
away.
It's
It's
just
just
like
like
what you need.
Yeah,
Can shoot.
no one asked that question.
okay.
He kind of alluded.
He alluded, but he went more in depth with your question about that, which I'm glad he did, because that's the answer I wanted him to give when he first alluded to, and he gave it. I'm like, all right, we can play that today and let people know.
He seems like a guy who's really.
I mean, because that was all in the comments. Not getting the call, how they got doubled the second
Like,
half
he
fouls.
seems like the kind of coach likes to hear his own.
Okay, yes, I went back and I watched the game again. but-
Okay, that's very nice what he said.
You
but
can't
the
make
officials
those.
were still bad.
They were bad. They were. It's true. He's like, yes.
He said the right thing, but that doesn't
He did.
change the fact that there was some egregious.
They shot what, 4 free throws in the second half, and Houston shot like 2.
The thing that doesn't get talked about.
I think I recorded one
change the game.
opening. It was, I mean, 8 years. Just straight.
He'll just.
If they didn't have to sit him that long, maybe
Yeah.
they don't go down double digits
We
again.
didn't know, you don't have to make the comeback.
Stops talking.
It wasn't changed either, and I thought it would be.
Okay, question. Well, you
The
kinda
crazy
answered
part
it.
for me
Like, what else
is
you got
I'm
for
looking, and yeah, I know it's like.
Oh,
it's
I don't wanna
like-
forget that.
I know.
Yeah, you don't wanna
I'll
forget
go
that.
out.
Yeah, you-
I thought it was some media members who just
I know, I left it up there.
Somebody of us leave our phones up there just in between that I was like, oh, somebody, a nice case by, Jay or something.
Good thing it worked. Have you guys seen that Seinfeld?
I think the biggest thing is when people are posting clips and you see fools
George
getting
leaves
grabbed
his
like that,
recorder
going through all
on
this
and
stuff.
then he doesn't again.
They're all right in the
And
sense
it goes
that
back and listens
no
when everyone
singular
says
call
that.
cost them the game.
No, they're right in
But
that.
they do have a big impact on the game.
Ready? We talked about this, I said next to you. The Cincinnati 6 fouls to 0. With 16:24 left. Changes the entire game. Why? They can't foul. Now they can do whatever they want to pick. Why? You put them at the free throw line.
What'd she say?
One of the drawers in that.
Yes, you can. That's how it goes, so.
You know, you would think that we would all like. Every game is the worst officiated game we've ever seen. You know what I mean? We're still surprised. Don't quote me on that. That was pre-press conference. Hit me, guys. What do we got?
Upon rewatching the final couple minutes, what were your takeaways of just the late game stuff?
Not much different than in the game, actually. We, you know, I thought the guys executed pretty well, and I thought they stayed pretty aggressive, and we really had a difficult time on the glass, and we came up with a couple late steals that might have been fatigue related, and you know, if we just isolate those couple minutes minus the glass, which is massive. I mean, that's how the trick is here. Houston beats everybody on the glass. That's how they win, right? And so it's not like just some little thing. It's the thing. And they beat us that way also. So I would have loved to clean that up.
Has it been hard to get the guys to turn the page after a really emotional game? And
No, I think every game is so emotional, right? It's the uniqueness of this deal. You know, kind of all season long, we've been really intentional about like when we go compete, and when we step off the court, we like dial it way back. Like we'll have a film session today, and there will be zero intensity in the film session. There'll be a lot of conversation and connecting and everything else, and so we're trying to, you know, because this is such an onslaught, we're trying to actually direct all of our emotion, intensity, and effort, and all of that into those 40 minutes, and then go a little bit and take a measured, drastic step away from that when we're off the court. So, you know, we'll see how it works. I mean, but that's been important. So I think our guys are kind of accustomed to that. They're used to that, and so clearly there was a ton of emotion in the locker room after the game. I don't even remember when we played, but our guys are really good at processing that together, I think, and so I think we kind of understand the assignment, and we're trying to do the best we can.
Your thoughts on Texas as a team that's coming out beating Oklahoma,
Yeah.
ranked team by double digits on the road?
Yeah, 2 huge wins, Baylor and Oklahoma, right? It's pretty good back-to-back wins. I think they probably feel like they're what they were supposed to be at the beginning of the season. They were top 10 preseason or early season team, and they got Daisu healthy, and they've got to know each other, better. Some really important pieces were relatively new to the team, and so I think they probably feel like they're just where they were supposed to be the whole season, but because of injury and newness, it's taken them a minute together. So they're playing incredible basketball, like really incredible. They're a super dangerous team.
This is one of those rare weeks where you guys have back-to-back home games. How big is that?
It's huge for us, man. It's really nice to not travel, right? And so it's a big deal for us. And of course, having the opportunity to play in this building is so helpful, and so it's a big deal.
You alluded to this post game against Houston, but having the ability to play all three of your bigs, Atiki,
Yeah.
Ali, and Foose.
Yeah.
How do you think you'll juggle that optionality going forward?
I don't know, because we're not going to have all three of them today in practice. So it's just like, You know, it's but we're learning, like, and some of it has to do with probably how teams end up. The adjustments they make during games is kind of probably going to be a little bit of where my lean is, because each of those three guys has a unique, distinct skill set, and so matchups matter. The way we're on the defense end, matchups and the tone of it matters. Is it like, are we, is transition the biggest issue we're dealing with right now? Transition defense. Is the glass the biggest issue? Is physicality in the post the biggest issue we're dealing with? Is it ball screens? All those are begging for a little bit different mixture of those guys, and you could do the same thing on the offensive end. Is a team, two to the ball? In which case, the guys being something different. Are they switching 1 to 5? Are they, in a drop? So we're going to piece it together. But all those are some of the things we'll take into consideration as we parse out where guys are going to be most successful helping us.
You said on Tuesday shot selection discussion with your team's a nuanced sort of thing. I mean, sometimes good shots don't fall, sometimes bad shots don't land.
For sure.
Could you elaborate on that with that? What does that mean for individuals that you talk to?
Yeah, I mean, our goal, like, we're going to shoot. We have to shoot. We have to get to close to 35 threes a game. That's really important to everything we do. Teams guard us different. Like, the floor opens up and makes some of the places where we're not potent, we get a chance to become potent in moments because of how teams have to respond to how we approach playing the game. So there's there's all the very intentional kind of unintended consequences of attacking the game the way we do. But they can't be, I think on Saturday I said belligerent. It's got to be, we have to be assertive enough and confident enough that we can get shots we love and not feel like we're casting up shots because we don't feel like we're good enough to get great ones. It's not a better, best, issue with shooting. But it is a matter of being super aggressive and super assertive and like winning shots instead of just like casting up shots. There's a difference. And that's a gentle thing. Please don't let us come out and shoot 23s on Saturday, right? Is overcompensating for that. That's probably my biggest focus, is just making sure that we stay super aggressive.
When you said you won't have all three of the bigs today, is there been a setback with one of the guys?
No, it's just management. It's just management. Like we have one guy with a broken thumb and one guy with a busted knee and one guy with a bad hamstring, and so it's just what we got.
Coach, when you had
It's like our bigs are all they're us. They're all middle-aged men that are at the rec center that are trying to get through another day of playing. You know what I mean?
Got something wrong.
Tweaks, just
Wanted to ask you, when Dallin Hall had those 4 fouls,
Yeah.
why did you not go to Trey Stewart? What's his status right now?
Trey's doing great. Like, he's coming every day and competing, and he's had huge impact on our team and will continue. And it was, we're trying to find some extra minutes for Jax, and he actually did an unbelievable job, in transition when we finally could secure a rebound. He was incredible pushing the ball in transition and kind of slicing the floor and making plays for guys. And so, that's going to be a balancing act all year long that we'll weave in and out of, and just try and figure out. But I don't know how many starting lineups we had. We've had 100, and our rotation changes every single game, it seems like. So it'll probably continue to do that.
Speaking of that, is Jackson going to be a starter moving forward with Trevin having gone?
I don't know yet. That's all a work in progress too. It's I don't know that it matters that much. Jackson's probably statistically playing a little better off the bench. Rotation wise, there might be some advantage to like having him start. Same with Trev. We'll kind of piece that together as we go. And it's the one thing we know is going to change. I mean, if history is any indicator of the future, it'll change every single game, partly because of our decision making and partly because of necessity.
You mentioned Houston just so dang good on the glass. When you watch this Texas team, what are some of the strengths you see?
Yeah, they can really shoot it. their starting five is, the returning MVP of the Big 12 tournament, right? And he's also semi-unique. I mean, I think he's shooting 50% from the three-point line, shooting 4 a game at the 5, right? And so that is a unique. A lot of times you go into a game feeling like, hey, we'll kind of live with 1 or 2, but you can't do that with him. He's taking challenge shots. Like, guys are fully closed on him. He shoots it so high and so far above his head. He's a problem, and clearly, the leading scorer in the history of college basketball, almost, right, on his way to doing it. And surrounded by really explosive scorers. That guys can really shoot. So they demand that you guard a ton of space on the floor. They can play with incredible pace at times. They bring some physicality to the game. They're probably the most confident they've been at any point the entire season right now. Feeling like they're in their best rhythm they've been maybe the entire season. Good team. They're a really, really good team, really dangerous team, and just rinse and repeat, right, with those comments.
2 more questions. Does a new tip change anything for you guys?
I got all kind of jokes for you, but but I like afternoon games, man. I love it because when you win, you get to go out to dinner with your loved ones, and it's awesome. And when you lose, you still can be up till 3 o'clock in the morning trying to figure out why, but you have way more hours to do it. So I love early games, and I think our guys will enjoy it, and I think it's a fun part of college basketball in this league, right, that we get to have these games.
Last question.
Are you guys watching all these net rankings and
Yeah.
Ken Palm, and how much do you pay attention to them? Because
Yeah.
frankly, you're doing really well in those
Yeah.
relative to your record.
We pay a lot of attention to them because they're important. There's wins and losses. There's AP poll. There's those analytics that kind of go and conference standings that go into opportunities to play in the postseason. They're very important to us. We've probably dug more into trying to effectively position ourselves well with these algorithms. We've spent an enormous amount of time doing that because they're important. Like, it's the criteria that is set forth before us, and as a competitor, you're trying to win in any space where you think you can, and they're really important to us, so we pay a lot of attention.
I guess, thank you.
Thank you, guys. Oh! Let's go. It'll be nice to win on Saturday, guys.
You get that nice dinner.
Second only to